Welcome back, everyone, to English Podcast Time. I'm Mark.
And I'm Deb. So glad you could join us today.
Absolutely. Today, we're diving into a really practical topic. Something that I think, we all do from time to time.
Oh, for sure. We're talking all about navigating a trip to the movie theater, but like in English. We'll cover everything from buying tickets to, well, what to say after the movie.
Right. It's a real-world conversation guide for, just an everyday situation. So, grab your popcorn, metaphorically speaking.
Okay, so Mark, let's kick things off with some, really essential vocabulary when you're just talking about movies before you even get to the theater.
Yeah, exactly. First things first. We often use movie and film interchangeably, right? They're both just general terms for what you watch at the cinema.
Mm-hmm. And then there's showing or screening, which that just refers to the specific time a movie is played. So, like, what's the 7 p.m. showing of the new superhero movie?
Right, exactly. And then we have genre, which is super important. It's, the type of movie. Like, is it an action film, a comedy, a drama, maybe a thriller?
Ooh, I love a good thriller. And speaking of the people involved, cast refers to all the actors in the movie. So, who's in the cast of that new film?
And then the director, of course, is the person who makes all the creative decisions for the film. They're like the captain of the ship, basically.
Yeah, totally. And you'll often see a rating on movies, which tells you about the age suitability. Like G for general, PG, PG-13, R for restricted. Those are pretty standard.
Mm-hmm. And then we have plot, which is just the story of the movie, what happens. And then the dreaded spoiler. Oh my goodness.
Oh, don't even get me started on spoilers. That's when someone reveals important plot details that you probably don't want to know before you see the movie. It just ruins it,
Yeah, it totally ruins it. So be careful with spoilers, folks. Always ask, have you seen it yet, before you say anything.
Good advice. So once you've got those basic terms down, you're probably going to want to ask some questions about what's playing. Like the most obvious one. What's playing? Or what movies are out right now?
Exactly. And then you might follow up with who stars in it or who's in the cast. And then, a bit more about the story. What's the movie about?
Or what's the genre, to see if it's your kind of film. And then the practical stuff, like what time does it start and how long is it? Because some of these movies are really long these days.
Oh, tell me about it. I'm looking at some 3-hour films lately and I'm like, do I really have time for this? And then, of course, a common question, is it in 3D or IMAX for that, extra immersive experience?
Yeah, for sure. So you're ready to fully engage in that conversation about movies before you even step foot in the theater.
So, Deb, we've talked about movies. We've talked about asking questions about movies. Now let's actually get those tickets. This is where we talk about buying tickets.
Yes, and the first place you'll usually go is the box office, or sometimes called the ticket counter. That's where you physically buy your tickets.
Right. And then, term you'll hear a lot is matinee. That's typically an afternoon show, and often they're a little bit cheaper, which is nice.
Oh yeah, I love a good matinee deal. And then, of course, you have your evening show, which are the later screenings, usually full price, no discount there.
Yeah, exactly. And these days, a lot of theaters have reserved seating. So you'll get a seat number on your ticket. No more racing in to grab the best spot.
Yeah, that's actually a nice change, I think. But then sometimes you'll hear the dreaded phrase, sold out.
No.
Which means exactly what it sounds like. No tickets left, you're out of luck.
Yeah, bummer. And then when you're picking your seats, people often talk about front row, back row, or middle row. Where do you prefer to sit, Deb?
Oh, I'm definitely a middle row kind of person. Not too close, not too far. What about you?
Yeah, I'm usually middle row, maybe a little bit to the back. Front row is just too much neck strain for me.
Yeah, too close. Okay, so let's practice some useful phrases for actually buying these tickets. Like the simplest one, 2 tickets for the 7 p.m. show, please.
Yeah, super straightforward. And then if you're thinking ahead, you might ask, can I buy tickets online? Because a lot of places offer that now.
Right, and it saves you time. Or if you're at the counter and you're not sure about availability, you can ask, are there any seats available?
Good point. And if you're a student or senior, you might want to ask, could I get a student/senior discount? Always worth checking.
Absolutely. And then, of course, the ever-important payment question. Can I pay by card or cash? Because sometimes, you've only got one or the other.
Yeah, that's crucial. I mean, it's always good to be prepared. So with those phrases, you should be able to confidently, get yourself and your friends into the movie theater.
You'll be a pro. No problem at all at the box office.
Okay, so we've got our tickets, right? We're in the theater, but what's missing, Deb? What's the essential part of the movie-going experience, really?
Oh, come on, Mark. It's the snacks. You absolutely have to go to the concessions stand. Or, sometimes people just say the concessions. That's where you buy all your food and drinks.
Exactly. And the king of the concession stand, of course, is popcorn. And it comes in like small, medium, or large sizes. You got to pick your poison.
Yeah, and there are so many types now. You've got your classic butter popcorn, which is, my go-to. But then there's kettle corn, which is a little sweet and salty, or even caramel popcorn if you're feeling fancy.
Oh, caramel popcorn is a dangerous game. It's so good. And then for drinks, you've got soda, or some people call it pop, or soft drink, all those carbonated beverages.
Right. And if you're a fan of something cold and slushy, they often have slushies or ices, which are those frozen flavored drinks. Kids love those, but so do adults.
Oh, I'm a big fan, actually. And then, the candy selection is always huge. You've got your standard candy bars, but then also gummy candy like bears and worms and all that fun stuff.
So many choices. And one thing you'll often hear about is a combo, which is a really good deal. It's usually like a meal deal with popcorn and a drink all together. Saves you a little money sometimes.
Yeah, it's a good way to, get more for your buck. So let's practice some phrases at the counter. How would you order, say, a large popcorn and a medium Coke?
Easy. I'll have a large popcorn and a medium Coke, please. Straightforward.
Nice. And then if you're a butter fiend like me, you might ask, can I get extra butter on my popcorn?
Oh, yes, essential. And if you're wondering about the price of something specific, you can just ask, how much is a candy bar? Or how much is the large soda?
Yeah, good point. And if you're trying to save a few bucks or you just want everything together, you'd ask, do you have any combos?
Definitely. And then sometimes you forget the little things, right? So you might ask, could I get a straw? Or could I get some napkins? Or even, could I get a lid for my drink? Because, spills happen.
Oh, absolutely. Especially with kids, a lid is very important. So yeah, those are some really useful phrases for, navigating the concession stand like a pro. You'll be well fed and hydrated for your movie experience.
Exactly. No more awkward pointing or just hoping for the best. You'll know exactly what to say.
Okay, so we're all fed and hydrated. Now, time to get inside the theater, right? And find our seats.
Oh yeah, when you're looking, you might hear aisle seat. That's next to the walkway, easy to get out.
Right, and then the middle seat in the center. Your ticket has the row number and seat number to guide you.
Exactly. Some theaters have a balcony or upper level for different views. Once seated, you're looking at the screen or the silver screen.
Yeah, and you'll hear that great sound system or surround sound pulling you in. But Deb, once we get in our seats, crucial etiquette expressions.
Absolutely. If someone's too loud, excuse me, could you please lower your voice?
Or unsure about a seat, sorry, is this seat taken?
If they're in your seat, excuse me, I think you're in my seat.
Need more space?
Can you move over a little, please?
And the most important one for everyone,
Please turn off your phone. Or please silence your phone. No bright screens during the movie.
yes, Deb, essential for a good experience.
Okay, so we've watched the movie, we've enjoyed it, hopefully. Now, what do we do when we leave the theater? We want to talk about it, right?
Exactly. And this is where you start using terms like review or opinion. What did you think about the movie?
Yeah, and you might hear people asking, did you like the movie? Or what did you think of the ending? Those are really common questions.
Oh, totally. And you might ask, who was your favorite character? That was amazing, or, disappointing, or even boring if it wasn't so great.
Right. And sometimes if it's really good, you might say, I can't wait for the sequel. Or if there was one before, the prequel. That's another good term.
And when you're talking about a movie, you might give it a rating, like, oh, I'd give that movie a 4 out of 5 stars.
Yeah, or sometimes you hear about a critic. That's a professional reviewer. They're usually the ones giving the official ratings.
Yeah, exactly. And speaking of talking about movies, there are some really fun idioms we use in English related to films. Like, have you ever heard the expression steal the show?
Oh, yeah. That's when one actor or like a specific scene just gets all the attention because it's so good.
Precisely. It just stands out. And then there's on the edge of my seat.
That means it was super exciting. Like you were so gripped, you couldn't move.
Exactly. And if a movie is really, really successful, what do we call it?
A blockbuster. That's a huge, very successful movie, like, a Marvel movie, often a blockbuster.
Yes, big budget, big success. But on the flip side, what if a movie totally fails?
Oh, then it's a flop. Or sometimes people even say a bomb. It just didn't do well at all.
Yeah, it just failed. And then we have scene stealer, which is kind of similar to steal the show, right?
It is. A scene stealer is specifically a character or a moment that just stands out and is particularly memorable or captivating.
Wow, Deb, we've really covered a lot today, haven't we? From knowing what's playing to snagging your favorite seat and even how to, talk about the movie afterward.
Yeah, it's been quite the journey through the movie theater experience. We've got all those useful terms like genre, matinee, concession stand, and even those great idioms like blockbuster or on the edge of my seat.
Absolutely. So next time you're heading to the cinema, try using some of these phrases. Don't be shy.
Exactly. Practice makes perfect, right? Well, that's all the time we have for today on English Podcast Time.
Thank you so much for tuning in and joining us on this cinematic adventure.
We hope it was helpful. We'll be back soon with more practical English conversations for your everyday life.
Until next time, bye for now.
See ya.